Alright, hey guys, I'm Perry, a pro jungler in the NACL/Academy League. I played on Dignitas Academy last year, and I've been maintaining Challenger for the last 3 years. Today, we're going to be reviewing a Masters level game, um, and we're going to be focusing on when to gank versus when to farm, how to make your decisions cleaner, and how to set up objectives. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is, the early game. As per usual, we're not going to spend too much time, but you always want to look at which lane to path towards. So let me ask, what are your thoughts really quickly? Where do you want to path through this game and why?
This game I want to pass bots because right now I'm thinking like Rumble top against Orange. Probably nothing's gonna happen in that lane. And if my Ezra and Lux is playing properly, they would push, and then by the time I get to bot side, the wave would be pushing backwards, which gives Woodier a chance to gank, and I could be there to cover. Yeah, that's what I
Cool.
was thinking in my head at the time.
Yeah, so that's a good start, right? And I want you to know that you always want to have a decision in mind when you come into the game, a decision on where to path. So I agree with you, but for different reasons. Pretty much what I'm thinking of is we're going to have Prio in the bot side, right? So that means that the crab that I'm trying to fight for against Udyr, who is stronger than me, is potentially fightable because we have Prio. The reason why I'm a little concerned is because Udyr is that much stronger than me, and we actually cannot kill Udyr. It's very hard. Our champions, our damage is pretty low. If we kill Udyr, the Caitlyn and Thresh will wipe, and vice versa. It's very, very hard, personally, to win the bot 3v3. So I'm keeping that in mind, but if they start the fights, I'm completely open into taking the fight. It's just we can't open on the fight. The next thing I'm thinking about is mid lane. We are pathing bot, but look at mid lane, right? It's Pantheon into Tristana. Your Tristana is a key factor to this game. So I'm less worried about what's going on top, what's going on bot, and more worried about what's going on mid. How can I involve this Tristana around the entire map? This guy is the key to winning this game, along with hopefully Rumble snowballing topside by himself. Let's see what goes on in the early game. Looks like a normal 5 point to me. Everything seems chill, so what we're going to look at is right after the clear. Okay. Everything seems pretty normal. So bot lane dies really, really early on, and you have, I can't see the camps, but it seems you did a Raptors red Crux clear. So what's the reasoning behind this clear?
Sounds terrible, but because this game, the Orange is like my Rumble has Ignite top, so I was just looking to maybe cheese a kill on Orin. If not, it's okay because I get to base with a longsword and it might help fighting Scuttle easier.
Sure. So in a world where Orm drops a ward here, how are you going to kill him?
I would just not kill him,
Yeah,
but
he has
this was
he
just
he could
really
he could
bad
steal
habit.
E and he could flash. He also can't CC him because he has W. Right? So you've already locked yourself in to a path you just contradicted yourself with. You said you wanted to path bot, and now you're pathing. You're locked into a clear that's pathing towards top. Right? So first error in this game is here. Cool. So we go to the next sequence. We have vision of the enemy Udyr. I'm realizing that that is me, and we're playing these analysis in the Summoner School Discord. Make sure you check the Discord out. But you see, you have information on the Udyr, and your entire bot side is up. So at this point, what I'm thinking of is Ballin just got solo killed, right? My mid still has prio, my top is losing. The game right now is not looking great, but what I want to be looking at from base, which is something you haven't looked at all, is waves. What's going on with mid wave? Is it coming back to me? What's going on with bot wave? Are we pushing out to them? What's going on with top wave? Can I eventually go back towards top and help my top laner out because he does have ignite? Those are all the things I'm trying to collect while walking out of base. The information I'm trying to collect. Cool. So here we see mid trading hard, and one thing we're looking at is this wave, right? This wave, there's a cannon here. This wave is stacked faster, but um, because of the position of this wave right here, it's going to eventually slow push out, right? We do have a big number advantage because of the cannon, but The wave will still push out because it's of the position of the wave, right? So I'm thinking because this trade is happening, if this guy's so low, can I come mid? Can I win 2v2? Can I like kill this guy before Udir's here? And is it worth? It's the first thing I'm thinking about, right? The answer is no. If you go kill mid and you get your bot killed, right? Udyr can gank bot, they probably have lost flash, or you can get your jungle invaded, right? That's why I wouldn't think about this mid gank because you will get punished if the enemy jungler thinks about ganking bot or pressuring your jungle camps. Because the moment you show that the enemy jungler is going to hold tab, count your CS, and instantly realize you full cleared your top side. But this whole time, you want to be collecting as much information as you can. Again, I haven't seen you pan bot a single time, and your closest proximity to the bot wave. So, collecting information is completely lacking in this entire early game. This point of the game, Lux is extending very far. You would have realized a lot earlier that their wave is pushing out, and they will need help eventually. Not now, but eventually on this wave. Lux inting is on Lux, don't get me wrong. But just knowing that that is information you should have had prior to this play happening. Cool, you see the Udyr, and you take your clear, and it's fine. So you do get spotted here. So instantly, the enemy jungler again knows you have a longsword, right? You're in this position, means your entire top side is spawning. The enemy jungler should know. And you know that the enemy jungler full cleared. So the jungler is gonna go straight to top, and you're going to your top camps here as well. If you fought 2v2 top, do you think you win?
At this point, yes.
Why?
Wait, 2v2 with mid?
With your Ornn top, because Udyr's going straight to top, right, to get back to his camps, and you're clearing towards top right now.
I'm gonna be honest. I think it's really RNG. Or like I'm pretty sure we would win with Rumble Key and Rumble Ignite, and Viego's early Viego can start Conquer really fast. So it should be like pretty. I think I'm pretty sure we should win 2v2, even though you have item buy.
Cool. So that is an okay way to just make a judgment right away. Right in the game, you want to instantly make that judgment. But thinking about the damage that Udyr and Ornn does, and the fact that they're pretty much unkillable for the most part, especially in the early game when you don't have many items, I think your top 2v2 is hard losing. Right? So in the moment, in the heat of the game, you make this judgment call and you instantly decide that, hey, yeah, we are winning top 2v2, so you should go and be willing to fight top 2v2. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because, look, Rumble crashed his wave, and Ornn will eventually need to bounce back, right? And Rumble has Ignite. So Rumble wants to play for the solo kill in this position right here when the wave is there. And you need to be aware that that's something you want to play for.
Okay.
I couldn't even.
And you
Yeah, I
just
think
told me you think top 2v2 is winning, so you should play for the top 2v2.
I think top 2v2 is winning, and I'm looking at the wave. And I'm like, yeah, the wave will be should be around Rumble side by the time I finish Scuttle slash like Krugs. Like I'll do Krugs if I need more time, but yeah, I do Raptors into Scuttle, and then I should be able to gank top.
Right. So at this point, you see your mid is hard winning as well. So what I'm thinking of right now instantly is I want to confirm that what Udyr's done is he's run straight to his top side. Okay, let's see what you do. You instead run straight to top. You don't hit the scryers, nor do you check what the Udyr's done. And it's important here because I remember this game. What's going to happen is you're going to show, and you're going to realize there's nothing you can do here. That's one. And two, Udyr shows here. I show here. Right, so you instantly know this fight's not going to be winning. Like, there's a huge wave, and, well, I'm here. If you warded this bush, if you warded this camp or you checked, you would know that I'm in the top side. I'm hovering for the wave. So you need to collect information first before you decide to make a play like this. But if you
Okay.
do think this play is winning, all you need to do is be patient. What's going to happen is Ornn uses all of his abilities on this wave, right? Why are you walking up like this? When this guy could just E away and flash away and you're never killing him, right? He has not used E yet. If Ornn decides to use abilities on this wave, which he does, you will kill him when Rumble holds the freeze and Ornn walks up even further. Alternatively, you will kill him um, if like he fights the Rumble when Rumble's holding the freeze. And lastly, if Ornn decides to just recall and he does not want to fight for this freeze, your Rumble will just have a freeze on the Ornn. So it's going to be a win-win-win situation if you play patiently here. The problem is this bush could be warded, right? If you were
Mhm.
tracking Ornn's ward usage, you would know that it's actually not. But what I would do is I would just sit here and wait to see what happens.
Yeah, I think I was in a similar situation, like in another game,
Uh huh.
oh, a couple months ago, and like another like 1.4k LP told me to not hit the Scryer Bloom because then they know where you are, and to just drop a ward in case Woody's gonna counter gank.
That's fine. I just want you to get some piece of information. Scryers or not. Scryers hitting Scryers is something you always want to do. If I'm being completely honest with you, but you don't have to. Just use a ward then.
Yeah, but if I hit the Scryer, do you think Oren would see it and then back off? Because like who else is gonna be topside besides Viego?
But the Orn knows you're in the top side anyway. If this guy has like have a human brain cell, we saw the Viego here, right? What
Hmm.
camps he has left are these two camps, right?
Oh, okay.
You just
I
got your
see.
blue buff. Your red buff is gone. You're obviously going to be in the top side,
Okay. I see. Okay, okay.
right? So this Orn using his abilities on this wave is one like illegal, right, for this guy to do. So I'm,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
even
you're right.
telling him that hey, Viego's coming, and he's using abilities on the wave, right? So no matter what, this guy is not dying. What you're playing for is the freeze, and the Orn potentially
Okay.
inting on the freeze.
Like, let's say they didn't know where it was, would I still hit the Scryer?
You would still get information when you're this close, especially since you're this close. You don't need to hit the scars, just go for a ward, bro. I don't care. The
Okay.
scars or not, just go for a ward. But yes, generally speaking, fundamentally, always hit the scars when you can. Always.
Okay,
Either
okay.
scars, always.
Okay, makes sense.
But here, play patiently, you would have gotten better result with this play.
Yeah.
Same for me, by the way. If I played a little more patiently and I didn't show myself, it would have been a better result for me. Little Viego thing here is Caulfields is better than, or not Caulfields. Okay, first off, Kraken Slayer
Oh,
is probably
I
the
was gonna go
item.
Kraken Slayer.
What happened?
I was gonna go Kraken Slayer, but I
Okay.
saw your team comp Udyr. You're playing Udyr. You're with Ornn and Thresh. I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm allowed to go Kraken because Kraken has a lot of physical damage, and all of you guys are gonna stack armor.
Yeah, well that's where like Rumble should shred and Lux should land Qs in fights, and you're pretty much just playing to one shot someone and transform and like snowball the fight that way. If you don't kill anyone, like you're not going to win the fight. You being a front tanky or frontline doesn't change the game because your DPS is too low against ours, right? Like you said, if we stack armor, Ezreal's pretty useless, and Tristana's like not strong enough yet to deal with us. So you need to do some more damage, otherwise your champ is really useless. Pretty much you can't wait for your teammates to kill us on the other team.
Yeah, that's why I went Divine. I saw like a Korean guy go Divine Black Cleaver, so I was just going that this game because you guys are pretty tanky.
Sure, that's fine. If you want to go to Divine for the stats for the HP stats as well, because you are pretty much the only frontline, you would just go Caulfields instead of Sheen. Caulfields is just better.
All fuse, okay. In my head, I was just thinking like, oh, with Sheen, we can like it's more damage for the one shot for passive.
Yeah,
In
but you're not
Caulfield's,
one shotting anyone. No, you just told us how tanky we are, right? So how are you one shotting anyone?
yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true. But Caulfield just has bad stats, so is it better to go double longsword plus Ruby Crystal?
I personally think Caulfields has decent stats. The ability is not much, but the 80 you're getting is 25, which is like a pretty big jump in AD from base AD to 25 AD, and then the
Yeah, it
ability
was
haste
like
helps you
five.
clear. If you're
It's 400 gold for 5 AD and an ability haste.
Yeah, I just think like don't overcomplicate it and like just build the Caulfields personally. If you
Okay, okay,
want
okay.
to, if you think you're going to fight for sure, then yes, building HP will always make the fight better. But realistically, all I want to say is just don't buy the Shin here in this early game
Okay.
state. So here again, so now we're looking at bot wave, which is good. We should also be looking at mid wave on this cross. What's going on with mid wave? What's going on with bot wave? Every time you're in this area, you need to be watching this wave and this wave. Right, so this entire time, it's hard for me to, talk about when to gank versus when to farm because we are not looking at our waves. How can we tell when to gank slash farm? Without information on our waves, we have no sense of what is going on, or plus we can't time anything. Every time you think about ganking versus farming, you need to match it to a wave. Every time. You're not looking at waves, so it's literally impossible to decide when to gank or farm. The other thing is when you are ganking, play off the wave. Right? The stops play, you were not patient, you were not thinking about what's going to happen to the wave. Right? If you were patient with the stop gank earlier, you would have understood that, or if you were understanding what's going on with the wave, you would know that Rumble is trying to hold the wave there, so when Ornn walks up to the next wave, let me make this even clearer for you, to the next wave, if he can freeze this to the next wave, he'll thin it out as much as he can. If he can freeze it, that's what he's playing for. Otherwise, this play is never realistic anyway, and you should just go back to your camps. Personally, this wave is too far away, and Ornn shoved this wave too fast. This guy is never dying, is the way I see it. Because, look at what happened here. Your Rumble is doing decent in trades right now. He's not doing too bad, but then he takes a really bad trade right around here. Right? He gets knocked up,
Yeah.
and he just takes a really bad trade. So the moment I'm looking at this, I need to check this guy's HP. It's not just about the waves, but it's also about HP slash conditions. Same thing with ultimates. Let's say Rumble just blew his ultimate in this position. He has full HP, but now you can't kill the Ornn if he has no ult. It always changes based off what happens, and you must adapt to that in order to make good decisions on whether to gank or farm. Okay, so here again, you're not checking mid, you're not checking bot, so I don't know if I should gank mid here. I don't know if I can like run straight to top or just use his E. What if I was running straight to top? What if it was an angle there? I don't know if I could gank bot. Maybe Udir's there. I don't know if I can stop the dragon or anything. I have zero information, realistically. Okay, the next thing I'm looking at again is this wave. So we talked about this a second ago, but when this wave touches this Ornn or touches the middle of the lane down here, that's when I want to be making my play. If Ornn is this far up catching the wave, and I think I can kill him, right, I'm going to just loop around and try to kill him. Otherwise, this play is not happening. What I can guarantee myself in this top sequence is if Rumble needs to recall, what I can do is I can just show myself, and because Rumble doesn't have first touch on the wave, because look at the positions, me showing myself will unlock Rumble's position and allow him to get the wave first, resulting in tempo on the map. Because you have an extra time to burn because it's 22 seconds, uh, you should know that you should have a general feeling of that. You have downtime right now. How I would use that downtime is based on this wave.
I would. You would just walk up here and let
Yeah, I
Rumble.
would walk up here, and if this Ornn doesn't have any vision, he's going to stay this far up and clear the wave. And if he does have vision, he's going to run all the way back, and your Rumble gets first touch on the wave. Right? Then now your Rumble is taking a sacked recall. Look at him. And you're in the top side. So depressing. What have you accomplished here?
I think here. I think I saw you bot lane.
Right.
So
So
I
so
invade.
one camp, one wave. Right? You have camps you can clear yourself, and you have a Rumble who's sort of like I wouldn't say struggling, but you need to get him resources as well. Right? Because this camp is so far away from these camps up here. Now your sequencing is off, your Raptors and your Krugs, and now the laner you've been pathing to the whole game is going to be down even more. So it's not about ganking this guy here. It's not about farming for yourself here. It's about understanding that bot lane's died, mid lane is not going too great. The only person who can maybe help you out in this game is Rumble. And now, by doing your decision here, you have no one to play with. Literally zero people to play with, and you're playing Viego, and you need teammates. So now the game feels terrible, right? So it's not just about ganking lanes. It's also about what you can do for them, what you can do for their waves. Right? Now Rumble is stuck catching waves, and you've let this Ornn catch this wave as far as he is without getting contested at all. So pretty much, your top is getting pushed in, your dragon is getting taken, and eventually your bot lane is also getting pushed in. So where are you winning this game? What have you done this whole game, pretty much? Right? Yes, my bot lane is winning by themselves, but that means I'm playing towards bot side. So the game should look like this. Top is going pushed in, bot is going pushed in, mid can be whatever, you can interact with that later. But now, my weak side is winning, my strong side is winning, and mid is like, it's chill. Mid is whatever. Your mid laner is winning by a bit. Your strong side, you need to make a play happen here. So this is when I would think about, like, this is my strong side. I've been pathing up this whole game because of what happened earlier, because of my initial pathing. I need to make sure that I get something up here, especially because these two champions are, well, inting. Even if this guy is a tank, what you can do is, if you feel confident to, still fight for this blue buff, is you can get the prio from this wave and then go play and potentially even cheese the Udyr, who is very likely to just like walk through here and like possibly get one shot while he's checking camps. Like if you land a full stun on the Udyr, Rumble will one shot him. So you want
So
to
the better play here is just to run top, let my Rumble push in the wave, and then we invade.
you can invade or you can let Rumble recall because he hasn't gotten recall the whole game. As far as I'm aware, as far as what I remember, he hasn't recalled the whole game. So this guy's sitting on like 1.5k gold or something like that. So like I think the next play that happens is you do this, sure. Ornn comes, right? Like this this is a perfect example by the way. Because sorry, this is a perfect point that I actually missed. Because you did not unlock your strong side, now you're getting no prio like anywhere on the side lanes, which is really important. The weak side champion has a lot of time to do anything. If the Ornn was strong side here, the Ornn would be invading. If the Ornn was strong side here, the Ornn would be diving or doing the objective. But the Ornn has so much downtime because he got this wave in by himself, and Rumble couldn't contest him. He could do exactly what he did and blow all your conditions. If you went to help top wave first, you could have more options in the game without it being so risky. Okay, so we blow our what? We blow our ultimate here, that's all. And we almost die. And then actually Rumble ults here too. Really unfortunately. Ornn does end up dying. I don't think Ornn needed to die, but Ornn does then end up dying. But now you're down ult, you're down Rumble ults, and like the play kind of just like went in your favor at the end of the day. Mid is actually might lose a wave here too though, and Ornn has TP.
Is it in my favor though if Herald is coming up and we have no ults for it?
I mean exactly, not really it, like not really, right? Like it isn't. If you got your Rumble recall while I was doing Dragon, and he was back on the map with stronger conditions because for some reason Ornn hasn't teleported the whole game, you would have a fighting chance at the Rift Herald. You also are sitting on 700 gold here. So if you just full cleared your camps after impacting top wave and then recalled, or maybe you could just impact this top wave then recall, then you'd be back on the map with your one Rumble at the same time. You could play for this Rift. Like you said, you have no ults for the Herald now. You cannot do the Herald. Cool. So at this point, we've pretty much played a whole game. I don't see the timestamp. It's 9 minutes, and we haven't been able to impact a single lane, not even our strong side. Right. So you really need to emphasize, if the junglers are pathing to different strong sides, you must get something on your side of the map. You have to include your strong side laner in this play. So you were going for a strong side play, which is the blue buff, but your laner wasn't involved. So you're halfway there, right? You understand that, hey, there are junglers on the bot side. I need to do something on the top side, but always involve your laner that's on the strong side in the play, right? And like we identified, this is our weak side, and this is our strong side. So you want to play into this rumble. But like I said, 9 minutes in the game and you haven't been able to accomplish any impact on any lane, pretty much. None of what you've done, well, the top gank didn't do anything, right? And you haven't been able to show up anywhere else when you could have is the important thing. Some games you literally can't, but this game, you had opportunity number one, path different. Opportunity number two, be more patient on the top wave, and opportunity number three, go help top lane after you crash or after you finish your next sequence. Especially since you see me doing the dragon. Okay, so from this point, we're again full clearing towards top. There's a ward in the bot side, so you're playing for this crap here, it looks like. Just fine. Rumble ends up dying, so now you have literally zero winning lanes, where potentially you could have a stronger Rumble that potentially might have not gotten solo kill this game in this position. But he still died. It is what it is. Now, you do the crab, which is chill. Um, I don't mind doing the crab, but the reason why um, it feels bad is because you do the crab, and now you have two dilemmas, right? Mid is getting shoved in, Udyr's Herald and probably item is really strong, and your bot's getting shit on. So you cannot enter your top side, otherwise your bot lane will get dove. What happens is they do get dove, and at this point,
Yeah, I think we're in comms. We're just telling them to like back off because Udyr's gonna be there, and Pantheon has R, and Pantheon right. Okay, here from this position, I don't remember if I pressed tab or not, but I know that like because my Tristana has a recall, Pantheon has move with R. Also, yeah, I think here we just like, well, we don't win 3v4 with Pantheon Ring in, so we should just back off the wave totally because our mid is back. I'm back,
so two things.
but
One, like to completely solve everything, your mid has TP, right? Two, if you're under this turret, it is very, very hard for every single one of us to kill you guys. It is so likely that if I'm any tier below challenger in this game, I am going to fuck up this dive. Even as a challenger player, I could fuck up this dive. 3v4 under a turret is not that easy, no matter what kind of game you're in. Realistic. I mean, unless it's like a complete shitstorm, which this game it's not. Not like it's not 2 one-sided. It's only
yeah,
4-1.
not yet, not yet.
It's not too fucked. Plus, you're doing decent in this game. One reset, one fuck up. If the Thresh tanks too early, if the Kit autos too early, if I, get CC'd by Lux, and if Pantheon tricks tower too early, one reset, you wipe us all. You can almost wipe us all. So,
Yeah,
you don't
this
give
sounds
your weak
terrible,
side
but
away when you can defend it.
okay.
If I'm going to herald this turret and it's going to break, then yeah, you have to just leave. But we're not breaking this turret. You need to defend this bot turret. Let's say that Azrael and Lux just leaves. What do you think is going to happen?
You'll hero the bot lane tower and take it.
Yeah, we're getting 4 plates at 10 minutes and we just win the map. Right? No matter what, blue side
Right.
isn't in winning position, but you need to defend our play, so we're delayed. So pretty much when you are behind, you have to spend time to defend the enemy team's play to delay their game and so you can hit your power spikes. You're so close to your item here. If you just take a fight within after you get 400 gold, then you'll be in such a winning position. If they accelerate the game now before you hit your item spikes, and there's fights going on before you're hitting item spikes, it's going to be so depressing. What I mean by this is it's like kind of confusing here because yeah, you want to go farm for your item, but spending time to delay their play, right? Especially when it's not 100% guaranteed play. In a 4v3 dive, it's not going to be 100% guaranteed, especially since Tristana has TP, it'll turn into a 4v4. But
Okay.
you delaying it, countering it, and being in a super defensive position.
So delaying the play is like it's even better than like when you're behind. Delaying a play is better than farming.
If the enemy play is delayable. What I mean by this is
If it's
what is the blue side play here? What is blue side playing for?
a dive on bot.
Wrong. The blue side is playing for the bot tier 1. Objectives, objectives, objectives. It's all about objectives. We're not playing for this bot dive, right? We're playing for this bot tier 1, and if you guys miss position at all, we will dive. But we are playing for this bot tier 1. I have Herald. I'm going to set up Vision. I don't even care about this wave right here. I'm thinking about the next wave, potentially, depending on what happens in the game. You're always thinking about dragons, heralds, barons, and especially turrets before thinking about any kills, dives, ganks, or any of that. Waves are just as important as objectives. So our play is to play for the spot turret, right? And if you guys overstep or miss position or anything, we will dive. If you guys are in such a good defensive position and we're playing for the spot turret, Lux and Ezreal will be able to clear the wave. You could probably even pelt Qs into the wave as well, the melees at least. That delays our bot tier 2, our bot tier 1 take. If we dive you and you're in a defensive position, we are going in 4 people into you guys, making our position on blue side much worse than yours on red side. When you have positional advantage, it makes the fight a lot easier to win.
Mm-hmm.
To
Okay.
finalize, your weak side is super important to defend when um when you can, pretty much. And to make the judgment call of when do I defend my weak side or when do I not, you need to understand two things. If you are in the area, you must defend the weak side if it is even remotely if it will be even remotely close. Two, if if there is no play in the strong side. So if you're in the area, this automatically assumes that there will be no play in the strong side because you'll be too late, right? If you are in the area, you must defend the weak side because if the fight is going to be close at all, most of the time when you're defending weak side players, it's defending a wave that's in a good position for you, or a turret dive, or a play like we're playing for a turret, right? Like this. That's when I'm always defending my weak side. If the play will be remotely close. Cool. Does this all make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
And the thing to emphasize, we've been doing this the whole time, which wave we're playing on is this wave right here. What everyone's thinking about. So let's say the enemy jungler decides to face check before. What you can do to defend this play and be literally 5-head is your teammates, you ask them, since you're in comms, to move early. And while Thresh and Caitlyn are hitting the wave, the enemy jungler has a big tendency of going before the waves. Not many people understand waves. So the enemy jungler will walk in first, and if you chunk their enemy jungler, it makes it even harder for them to dive. What I mean by that is if even if the Udyr at 70% HP, 60% HP, now the dive is even riskier for blue side, and if they make it, I hope, things go well, but if things don't go well, you're going to lose anyway. So you need to try to defend it. Okay. So bot gets dove, and now you lose the entire bot turret, and we're getting what we can in the top side. So, um, the reason why I emphasize, rule number one, which is if you are in the area, you must defend the weak side, is because you ended up full clearing all your camps like this, and then going for this invade now. By the time all this happens, after we make this play, we're just gonna recall and retake our weak side as the blue side, right? So if I were to optimize this, and you actually have information of this camp, right? If I were to optimize this, I would just do my top two camps, drop a ward, and then recall. Because there's no play up here that you can make safely without, flipping a timer that, the enemy jungler support could make it to. And if they do make it
Okay.
to, you'll lose both your conditions. And why do you do this here? So when you recall, you come back on map with items. So the next fight you take again, you have a better chance of winning. Right now, if you take a
Okay.
fight, you're not going to win it. Not without
I
items.
think I think okay, in my head at this point of the game, I think my thinking was I don't have enough for Divine yet, and I don't want to AFK on the map, so I was just looking for something to do. And Dragon's up in 54, and I was thinking that Dredge is probably going to go bot side towards Dragon to set up for it, and then you would think that I was just doing Dragon. Maybe Vega already took my top side, so you wouldn't enter it either for a while.
Right. So two things. One, you never assume which objective they're playing for. These two are both objectives. Because you're so far behind, you cannot make like judgment calls like this where you don't have concrete information.
Okay.
Okay? So you have no clue which side I'm going to. And I'll explain to you why it's always better to go into the top side. Where is your strong side right now?
My top side was Rumble.
Right? Where was our strong side a second ago?
Bot lane with Caitlyn, Thresh.
Right? So if I were to let you just keep pumping my top side camps, keep pumping waves in the top, and getting plates, where am I strong siding now? There's no bot serve to play for. There's nowhere to strong side, right? This thing is not gonna be up for 50 seconds. I'm not running here and setting up 50 seconds in advance when we're up 10k gold. Not 10k gold, but we're up 6-1 and a full turret, right? Additionally, um, like I said, defending your weak side is always something you want to do, and we didn't talk about this, but when you are ahead, you always want to defend the weak side because it will likely turn into a winning fight, right? If you are strong in the game and they're not playing their strong side properly, what I mean by properly is Lux should be with you, and after Tristana gets the wave, they should be with you, right? So if that's the position that you guys are in, yes, the fight will be hard, but we're not taking a full fight before we have information. So pretty much the order of operations for blue side is defend this top turret, collect these waves. If the enemy is showing bad positions, kill them. If not, push top wave out, decide top turrets or dragon. From there, now we have changed our strong side. Sorry, now not we've changed our strong side. Now we have secured their strong side to becoming now, evened or weak side, and now we have two options: to play for this or to still play for this. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So ends up, I don't know what happened here, but you guys end up dying, and because look at position, Tristan is on this mid wave, and you guys are all stuck here, right? We have even numbers as you guys are now, almost. Like in about like 1 or 2 seconds, we're going to be same numbers as you guys, and Keelan's here too. In fact, we're up. We're almost going to be up numbers because Pantheon has ult, and your Ezreal can never connect to this fight, or maybe he doesn't have ult, but the point is like he's going to be stronger than Ezreal. So Pantheon will shit on Ezreal here. But now you're coming to this fight, 2v or 3v 2v 3v2 at the start, right? And this is why playing to your strong side is important. But if you made a play like this when you had your items, the game would just be a lot easier. So what I mean by what I want you to do is drop this ward right here, hit the scryers, drop the ward, right? Because the scryers gives you concrete information. If you hit the scryers and we do not show here for a while, that means you have time to do this and dip, right? But if you hit the scryers and we show, obviously you drop the ward and you run. But in general,
Okay.
because I know timing, I would drop the ward and recall because you sit in base, takes 7 seconds to recall, 8 seconds. That's 16 gold, right? Right off the bat, and every single second is 2 gold. So
Mhm.
you're going to have your item if you recall here.
Okay.
And if the blue side plays strong side here, now you play strong side here. And why not defend? Because we are in base and we do not have position to defend the top side. And likely, if the macro of the blue side is not proper, our wave bot will be set up for us to dive the enemy weak side. Right? But if you are too slow on the map, let's say this happens really fast and on this wave you cannot make it to it, and you know we're gonna play really fast on this wave, you need to defend the top side. So pretty much if you're behind, you always need to defend, right? But if you're even or ahead in tempo, you always want to play to your strong side. And in this case, you are even, but you are down too many conditions because you don't have your item to where playing to your strong side doesn't matter. So there's a lot going on here. That's why the concepts of items is so much more valuable to understand than anything else in the game. Items change the game because if you have two items here, you're gonna probably win the top fight. If you have one item here, there's a chance you can win the top fight. If you don't have any items here, well, good fucking luck. So,
Yeah,
but
this is the bad assumption thing because I would assume like Caitlyn and Thresh win the dragon, but
uh,
instead they win top for the top turret.
yeah, but Dragon's not up for 50. So again, it's not about the stop turret. It's about clearing the weak side out, then shifting down to Dragon. Let's say blue side really wants dragons. Sure. We're still going to walk through top side. At least the jungler, at least I as Udyr and Thresh are going to clear this, you know, the division here, the whatever control you guys have established. We're not going to let you guys just win on your strong side.
Okay, okay, yeah, makes sense because there's a while before the dragon comes up.
Yeah.
And you guys have nothing
Let,
to do,
let,
so
let's
you
say
just go
let's say
top.
this was
Oh,
up.
okay,
Let's say this was up in like 1 second. Your position is godlike here because now we have to make a choice. Now we have to make a choice to where you're pulling us around the map. If we want to defend this top position, we are dropping our bot position. And what I mean by this is if we walk in like this and shove you guys out, then you can walk to dragon and you'll be first. We'll have to walk like this, and that means you have river control. If we walk in like this and we're face checking, you have full setup, and you could take a fight like this position here. And if you have item, for example, it'll be better. But realistically, all you get by playing to your strong side is positional advantage. But also, if we come and this dragon's coming up in 1 second, you can leave the strong side and go and flip the strong side and seesaw. And let's say we follow you every time. You just keep going back and forth. And if blue side can't make up their mind, what are you doing? You're defending the enemy plays and you're delaying their game. By delaying the game, you're getting closer to your power spikes. And then when you're at your one item and we're at 1.5 items, that's when you want to fight. When your teammates hit the first item, Tristan is about to hit item, Ramo's about to hit item, you want to take a fight. 3v3, 4v4 top. Without Ezreal, because Ezreal's too far behind. Okay, so the game is pretty fucked. What is the score? 10-2, and like you guys are dropping waves. Okay, so I would have catched this wave obviously, um, but you guys are like really far behind in this game, and pretty much it's just hard. It's just very suffocating to play. So at this point, there will likely not be any how to set up objectives, right? And most of your decisions later on, clean decisions is what I mean, are not going to really exist because you're playing from way too far behind to where spending time to defend enemy plays won't matter. You will just lose. I think in this game you had one really good situation right here where this is an example of defending a play, right? You the blue side here, this is me. This is me inting here, right? I'm a little
yeah.
bit too far extended, and you're taking a fight where you have items, and I have items too. We're up a lot of gold in this game, right? Look at the score right now. It's 15-2, but you found one opportunity, but look at how far the Udyr is. Like, look how far I am, and you get a perfect stun, and this is your way back into the game. So now it's all about fighting execution. But for the most part, I think you played it. I would definitely use my Udyr um, ult here and W. I would W and then ult. So champion proficiency there. Um, then here, um, nice, nicely done. And then we,
Here I
whoa,
just end
whoa, whoa,
because
whoa,
I always think too many. Think this was just too many
whoa, whoa,
comms.
whoa. Yeah, yeah,
I I
it's okay.
I would have just I think I would have just played oath, but I think one of my teammates was telling me to drop lantern, and so I dropped lantern, and then
Yeah, I mean
I
it's
did an
it's not
R.
it's not too big to worry about. Don't worry. The point is you won a
Yeah,
fight on your weak side, and that's like the only way back into this game. And you hold tab. So let's actually compare items. Right now, okay, Ezreal was in that fight, but he didn't have item. But look, this guy had item. This guy's item. It's actually like you're definitely down a lot of gold, right? Look at these boots. Look at these things. Like I got 10 stack Dark Seal. But that's the best time to take a fight because when I hit Jack Show and Demonic, your Rumble will be at like a Demonic and Pen Boots and like Alternator or something. You know, right now you're as close as you can be until the next power spike. So the next fight, what after I hit my item, is when you get your second item. And by the time you're at your second item, we're gonna be at our second and a half item, and you just keep this cycle going until you win a fight to where you now throw the lead into your favor. So unfortunately, there wasn't much objective takes, so we can't really emphasize anything on that. The biggest
yeah, I
takeaways.
felt.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I don't have anything. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, so I was gonna say the biggest takeaways are the simplest fundamental of um, we're not looking at our waves. So if I were to take one key point away from this, right, I would say how can we tell anything realistically? This is not just ganking or farming, but since we're focused on that, I'll write this. How can we do anything when we're not collecting any information on our waves? As a baseline fundamental, should be a skill you learn very very early on. I'm not flaming you or anything, but I'm just reminding you that this is something you can instantly improve on and you'll learn very fast how to do because you are already a masters player. This is not a skill you don't know how to do. It's just that you don't know how to do it consistently. And the reason why consistency matters is because you will improve on this one thing and now you can forget about it and then move on to the next thing and then move on to the next thing. These are a lot of points that you can improve on, a lot of things you can think about. It's important to decide what are the easier things you can learn and learn fast, and you can instantly put that into action. So, for example, you can probably group checking HP and conditions when looking at your waves. For example, when you are making any plays, you could always be patient. These are things you can instantly change as a Masters player. It should not be hard for you when you're playing the game. And obviously, um, there weren't many opportunities to look for more ganks and plays, but the biggest thing that made you suffer this game was your pathing. It's not something I
Right.
stress normally, but because you are a Masters player, I want to let you know that pathing the wrong way is a common theme in many, many players. Even for me, when I played competitive at the highest level, I path the wrong way. On Dignitas, I had games where I path the wrong way. In pro games against, LCS scrims, I might have pathed the wrong way. It happens, okay? And what I mean by pathing the wrong way is not by, my bot lane died and I was pathing the bot lane. No. I mean, I understood the situation of the game wrong. I thought my teammates would have prio, right? I thought their champions should get the prio, and the enemy just played it in a way where it's not realistic for the lane to get prio. Pretty much, you can't lock yourself into paths where you have no options, and you can't path away from your prio. It's just not good for the game. Fundamentally, it's not good for the game. Could you cheese a kill on this Ornn? Yes. Is it going to work every game? No. Will pathing down to your prio work every game? Yeah, you will have many options every time you do that. It'll be as consistent as consistency gets. So, if I were to revisit anything, it would be make sure you are thinking you are playing to your lanes of prio and pathing the right way. And lastly, um, when thinking about decisions, think about what objective the enemy is playing for, then think about the kill they are playing for. So, for example, the spot play we're thinking about, where your bot lane got dove. I would be thinking about first what objective are they playing for, and then what what they can do while playing for that objective, and that'll just help your decision making by a little bit to focus pretty much just focus on objectives. And this is like a smaller objective. If I were to categorize objectives, I would say dragons, heralds, barons, turrets, and then a smaller one are waves. Waves are its
I
own
think in one of
objective.
yeah, I think in one of your videos you said that it's not worth. I think it's not okay. If the game is even, it's not worth doing dragon if you lose your whole top side for it, including the buff.
It must have been a situation where I'm talking about losing more than just your buff. If you lose like Herald plus your entire top side, and you're not trading Dragon for his entire bot side, then like yeah, it's not a great play. Pretty much you want to have all of these camps cleared and then this objective cleared. So this is your weak. Okay, so let's look at it this way. Let's say this is your weak side and this is your strong side, and you're doing your Dragon, right? If for some reason you clear your strong side camps first, and all these camps are up, and you play for this Dragon, it's not ideal. It still is definitely a way you can play the game, but it's not ideal. If this turns to be out to being a weak side, you want to play for Herald now. This is your strong side camp. Strong side objective to play for. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because in my opinion, if you get this dragon and he gets your top three camps, what's gonna happen is you're gonna recall and you're gonna walk back to your top side, and Herald should be up, and his whole like one of his quadrants should be up here too. So if his bot quadrant is not up because you did rep dragon and you checked like before you did the dragon, then you should know that his top quadrant is up. So he either needs to defend this herald and he can lose the fight because you just got dragon, you just got advantage. He hasn't even spent his gold yet. Maybe conditions are good for your top mid. If not, like you can you know impact the lane while he's doing his camps and eventually invade him. So pretty much almost all cases, what you should do is focus objectives so then you can learn what are actually the worst situations and the worst punishes enemy junglers can do. Because most of the time the enemy jungler will choose the wrong punish and you know you will just win pretty much. Cool. Pretty much at this point I ask if you have any other questions, if there's anything you want to recap. And I want to ask you if you have a few key takeaways, just briefly recap to me what you remember from this session.
As of now, I can't think of any questions, but takeaways, not looking at your notebook, just me thinking about what you told me this game, I think definitely defending your weak side, like like a pretty big emphasis on that, and also there was a lot of things. Actually, there's defending weak side, playing for strong side, playing for the wave, especially like letting Rumble have like giving Rumble room to breathe by just being the lane and letting him push out the wave, which gives my Rumble tempo. And then earlier we talked about if we're really ahead, we can it's okay to go down like 50, 60 CS if we're giving our team tempo to move around the map. And then don't just assume plays that you think the enemy will make without any information.
Cool. And then yeah, that's a pretty good as if you take all those away and you learn something from it, I'm really happy with all of that. You mentioned waves, but really just make sure your information gathering is on point and you're really collecting more information on waves. I would say that's like something that I didn't see much, if any, in this game, and not
Yeah,
enough. So
I think I discussed some games a bit weird because I'm gonna be honest. This was like I think this was like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning for me, so I was kind of tired. But that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse, obviously. But I think even in solo queue, I just get lazy and don't look at wave
Yeah, I mean,
as well.
being lazy, being bored, being
I-
all these things, it's a real thing. It's just you got to be a little bit more disciplined, a little bit more focused, and like you got to remember. That's why I always ask, like, what's your reason behind improving or trying to like climb? Because that's when you ask yourself, man, I really wasn't disciplined today. Like, am I sure I really want to improve? Am I sure I really want to hit challenger? Or I really want to get out of masters? Like, you need to have good reason to do anything. You know, we're humans, we're creatures based off like motivation. Like we need motivation to do anything. If you have no motivation to climb, you're not gonna care about looking at your waves. That has a direct correlation in my eyes. The every time I feel like I don't want to like improve or I don't want to hit challenge, I have no reason to, I play worse. So really remind yourself why you're trying to improve, why you're trying to climb, and just remind yourself about that at all points and it'll help you stay disciplined. And it's very important to stay disciplined.
Right.
Cool. If you have any other questions, feel free. Now's the time.
Uh, as of now, I do not have any.
No problem. Cool. So I'm just gonna call it here. I'm gonna make sure everyone who's watching knows that, we have a Discord going on. I'm hosting public free coaching sessions right now. So join the Discord. Everything will be linked in the comments. I have a work in progress of a full jungle cheat sheet. This will have so much information. If you don't like reading a lot of text, I will do my best to summarize all these points. But please know there is so much free content, free educational content in my Discord and in these comments below. Thanks for watching, guys, and peace out. See you guys later.